This morning, I have a question for you. Matter of fact, I have a couple of questions for you. Are you struggling to get views and subscribers on YouTube? Are you struggling to have confidence on camera on YouTube? Well, this morning, we're going to be talking about some power tips that's going to help you address overcoming the imposter syndrome that could be affecting you as a creator. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, huddle up, because it's indeed time for the huddle. Praise the Lord. Welcome to the huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to find your passion and your purpose on YouTube, then I want to welcome you to the show. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe to this channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and also click the alert notification button. That's going to alert you that another great live stream huddle like this or videos like content uploaded every Monday and Wednesday is available to you to add value to you. This morning, we have another dynamic guest on the huddle. I tell you, Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. We got another great man on the huddle today. So all my huddle community, huddle viewers, we get in store for a great treat. Let me read his bio. This morning's guest is the executive coach and podcast host of Retail Worthy You Coaching. He is dedicated to helping retail leaders to advance their career, improve their communication, and enhance their culture. I want to welcome the one, the only, Mr. Steve Worthy. Good morning, sir.
Oh man, thank you. I gotta give you a round of applause, for that. So thank you, sir. Thank you. That's for you. That's for you and all you do. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. This is I've been watching everything that you've been doing, the people that you've been having, the content that you have been creating, the subject matter that you have been bringing to people, and it's pertinent, it's timely, and the thing about it is that it's changing lives, right? So, I'm excited to be on the huddle, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And to those of you watching me on YouTube, we want to welcome the huddle community. I tell you, we can't do this without you, and those of you who are going to watch the replay, we certainly appreciate your contributions to the huddle. Let's get started here. Let's hike this ball, sir.
Let's go.
Tell our viewers about yourself and why you started on YouTube. I know you've been doing some other things, but what brought you to the arena of YouTube?
Oh man, listen to me. I'm trying to jump in with both feet too, right? And I think you and I were talking a little bit off screen or in the green room, how long I've been trying to do some of these different things, and the YouTube one has been probably the most daunting one, for me to kind of get after. But the thing is that I do see the value in it, not just, for, myself in the business and all this other stuff, but also, we talked a little bit about the content that you create is not just for yourself, it's for other people. And so for me, the YouTube sphere, if you will, is something that I've been gradually getting into, so that way now my content can actually kind of, go to other people and hopefully impact them and what they're doing. It's been a journey for me. The leadership role started, leadership stuff, if you will. I won't say just role, but leadership, if you will, started when I was in the Air Force. Then once I got out of the Air Force, different roles. Whether it was in retail, project management, things like that. But I always found myself mentoring people and coaching them kind of throughout my career. I always found my bosses sending me people, or even my boss coming to me for really what was coaching back then, but it was like advice, if you will.
Right.
And I started years ago, just starting to like trying to monetize my time with people, and started to do some different things. And so when I was in Atlanta, I started Worthy Business Solutions, and kind of dissolved that one. And then I started Worthy Leadership Group. Same thing. It was all coaching. But then I realized that my audience was too broad. And so I focused in on retail, because retail, man, the retail leaders sometimes are neglected, and their decisions impact everybody every day all over the world. And so I felt that I needed to show the retail leaders some love, because out of my entire career, about 20 years of it has been spent in retail executive roles. So that's kind of where we're started, and where we're going right now.
Great. Hey, great. Tell our viewers, those of on YouTube, and if you're watching this, please do me a favor, share this on your social media channel. This subject topic, though we're talking about YouTube, is very pertinent. So do me a favor, share this for sure. What is imposter syndrome?
Yeah, it is the overwhelming feeling that you get of feeling that you don't belong, or feeling that you are a fraud given a certain situation or circumstances in your life. But here's the thing about it, is that there is no evidence that validates those feelings, because typically when you have these feelings, you're equipped to actually accomplish whatever it is that you're able to accomplish, or you know the road to take and the journey to take, or the process to take to accomplish it. And so these feelings that you feel of low self-esteem, feeling that, I'm not worthy, no pun intended, to be in a room with certain people, you get these feelings, and what happens is it becomes debilitating for a lot of people. They get stuck in a paralysis of analysis, and they can't move past it. Part of it has to do with some of their upbringing, and some of it has to do with some of the things that we often talk about, which is either fear of missing out, or fear of success, and also fear of failure. So all those elements play a role within the imposter syndrome. But the thing about it is that, like I said, there is no evidence in your life, in your situation, that you should be feeling this way. You should feel that you can actually accomplish it, but it still exists. And so we have to figure out how to combat that, and actually how to move past it as well.
So on YouTube, for us who are content creators, and even in the podcast world, when you want to upload your first video, and press record, a person who's starting that journey can be dealing with imposter syndrome, but not really know that that's what they're dealing with.
Exactly. When I started my podcast, so here's the crazy part, right? Because I just said that it's there's no evidence to the fact that you should be doing this way. You should be feeling this way because you have the experience. A buddy of mine and I, we started it really was a podcast. It was 2005. It was on Blog Talk Radio. And if you guys, anybody remember that, but it was like a website that you can go that had all these different categories that you can talk about. And it was like almost like a conference call. And my buddy and I, we started actually doing that, and we did it for about 4 years. And so it was pretty much, a podcast. I did radio, in college and in New York a little bit. And so the fact that I already had experience in doing the podcast was like, oh, this should be easy for me. Man, it was probably one of the most difficult decisions that I actually had to make, because I had to realize the content that I was putting up there. I was like, oh, what if they don't like it? Or what if no one's listening? And what if, I don't sound right, or I keep saying and ah and all of this stuff. And it was the hardest thing for me to actually, hit record and actually send that, until I remembered this. And hopefully people are listening will get this one too. I had the pleasure of meeting Herman Cain, who was a congressman, but he was also a radio personality in Atlanta. And I got the opportunity when Jerry and I were starting our Blog Talk Radio to talk to him. and we were talking a little bit about, because Jerry and I were both feeling like imposter syndrome, and he said to us, he said, you stop, don't focus in on that. You just have to focus in that if you're speaking to one person, just one person, doesn't matter if you can feel like you are speaking to one person that you're trying to impact. And once we did that, and then once I did that, the second go around, man, it didn't come easy, but it relieved some of that pressure.
Gotcha. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion on building your confidence and your self-esteem as a creator by overcoming imposter syndrome, do me a favor, click the like button, give us a thumbs up, because this is truly adding value to us as content creators. On your interview that you did on imposter syndrome, and we're going to put the link in the description so people, with your permission, can be able to follow up on that entire discussion you did on it. You talked about some of the ways that imposter syndrome will manifest itself. Can you just share with our viewers some of those ways that we as content creators need to be mindful of?
Yeah, you know what, there's the thing about perfection, right? It shows up in the context in certain ways, that when you're creating something, it has to be perfect. You feel that it has to be perfect. You double and triple check your words. You record something and you're like, oh, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. And you delete it and you record it again, or you send it to someone that may have to critique it, and you delay that process. All these things that I'm saying, I did, and this all things I did firsthand. And that person that you want to send it to, I'm supposed to be sending it to Walter. You're calling me, dude, Steve, where's the stuff? Where's it at? Well, I'll send it. I'll send it shortly. So you start to create excuses for why you can't do something, or why you haven't delivered on what you're supposed to be doing. The other thing about imposter syndrome, it can manifest itself into the inability to provide feedback to people. So especially in the business sense, and I know we're talking about from a creator standpoint,
sure.
The part of the imposter syndrome is that you don't feel worthy enough to give feedback to people, because you feel like, how did I get to this role? Why am I in this role? Who am I to give feedback to this person that I'm leading? They have twice as much experience as I do. So you don't give feedback. You get stuck in the paralysis of analysis. And then probably one of the most glaring ones is that it is the consistent feeling that overwhelms you. And I've seen this with some of my clients, where it's debilitating, where they can't make a move. I mean, every decision that they make has to be approved by someone. They are constantly stuck where they are. Their marriages are stuck. Their finances are stuck. Everything, because they don't have the gumption to figure this thing out and kind of move past it. So it is, and there are some people who have been diagnosed as clinically depressed based on imposter syndrome. That's the far extreme.
Okay,
that's way out there. But there are some people that it does hinder their lifestyle and who they are as well.
Definitely. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion, give me a hashtag value in the chat or the comment section. And to those of you who are going to be watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. You know, as I was, thinking on some of those different ways how you manifest itself, another question came to me was, does imposter syndrome manifest itself more with individuals who are extroverted or introverted?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's both, right?
Okay.
Because the extrovert, here's what happens with the extrovert, because I am an extrovert. I'm an extrovert professionally, but I'm an introvert privately. So, which is weird, right? But as an extrovert, it manifests itself into overcompensating with external things so that you can actually have the external appearance that you know what you're doing, or that you know what you're talking about, right? It's a facade. It's oops.
Oh, okay.
I know, right? That was perfect timing.
Yes, sir.
There you
Here
go.
I am.
I got my roadcaster too close to me and I bumped that puppy. My bad. That was
Okay.
perfect timing. It'll manifest itself into you overcompensating with external things. I'm saying that because I did that myself, and I talked a little bit about this last night. I know you were listening when I was talking about the watches and all the different things and money I spent, on certain things because I was trying to externally show people that I was capable, and I did that by creating a facade and not allowing my true self to come out. And you just superimpose more things in front of you. The introvert, the introvert is probably. Here's the thing with the introvert: people already think the introvert is struggling with imposter syndrome to begin with, right? Because they're so quiet and they're not really talking and they don't want to talk about it, right? But that can actually, manifest itself into other ways as well, where it's more of a closing off of relationships with people that will actually try to push you to do certain things. You won't call that person that's going to, be your cheerleader, so to speak, because you don't want that pressure that it's not even pressure. It's a mentality that they're going to be providing pressure for you to do something. And you don't want to talk to that person. You don't want to deal with that because they're going to force you, for lack of a better word, to deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with to accomplish a goal. It's nothing bad. It's just that's how you end up manifesting itself a lot of times with introverts.
You too say, or as they say in the church, Selah. Calmly pause and think about that one. What are 3 power tips that you can offer that will help us? Because you had said in your presentation, you believe the imposter syndrome is not something that you can just knock down and get away. It's possible it could be with you it could be with you.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to acknowledge it. And I'm maybe giving the first power tip. What are 3 power tips that we can do to move past it?
Yeah, you got it. Now, number 1 was exactly that, right? It is understanding in some way, shape, or form, you are going to feel like an imposter in certain parts of your life when you're trying to accomplish something that you haven't accomplished before.
Right.
The other piece is a fundamental thing about imposter syndrome is that you really have to understand it doesn't happen when you're operating in your current state, in your current field, in your current level of being comfortable. If you're comfortable with where you are in your life, career-wise or whatever it is that you're doing, you're not going to be struggling with this fear of inadequacy or low self-esteem because you are on cruise control and you are consistently delivering and you're not operating, you're not doing anything more. And so that first piece is understanding that it will be there, but you actually have to understand that if you are trying to defeat it, you have to understand that it's going to be there. It's going to probably play some role, and that's okay. The second thing is preparation. Preparation. Right? I talked about, I used the word initially when I first was describing this as being a professional, right? But I like the word preparation better. It's because that if you are preparing yourself for something big, for something that's beyond you, the idea is that you have to gain experience and knowledge. So that way, whenever imposter syndrome tries to come and say that you don't know something about a certain subject, no, you do know that because you prepared for it, right? Or you're doing an interview. Like, listen to me, man. I can do an interview. I don't even need anybody to send me anything, right? I think James, and I think you're probably the same way. You can do an interview talking about your subject matter like all day long. Doesn't matter. But that's because I've been preparing for this stuff, especially in retail, like all my life. It's been all my professional life, if you will. So the preparation is one of the easy parts. The other thing, the last one, and we talk a lot about this with our clients, is that you have to utilize it as a springboard for your growth, because you have to realize that you're on the brink of something big, and if you stop, there's somebody out there that won't hear your message. There's somebody out there that won't read your book. there's somebody out there that won't hear your sermon because you know what, I'm afraid, but God's calling me to preach, but I'm afraid, and I don't want to get up on that stage because of the responsibility associated with it.
Mhm.
You know, we all, I talk about leadership a lot, and I talk to people in this context, like leadership, you're in leadership for two things. Either it's for the reward or it's for the responsibility,
Ability. Mhm.
you know? And the idea about imposter syndrome is that I think we get so fixated on the reward and we don't deserve the reward, where we need to focus in on is the responsibility of our platform and what we're trying to do. And if we accept that, man, it becomes bigger than us. It becomes bigger than Steve, becomes bigger than Walter. Your
Yes.
content and what you're trying to do as creators is bigger than you. The imposter syndrome will tackle, since we're talking like using the huddle, right? It'll try to tackle you personally, but it can't tackle your vision. It'll tackle you personally because you're the one that has to manifest the vision. The vision is big. So if you realize it in that context, man, hopefully those things will, work their way out and you can kind of move past some of that stuff.
Definitely. Hey, if you're getting value out of this, I already know I am. Give us a smash, as they say, smash the like button and give us a thumbs up. And those of you on the replay, give us an example in the comment section on some of the things you are doing to address the imposter syndrome in your profession, you as a creator, and share it with the community. Let me ask you this last question. Let me tell you, we could go for a long time on this.
Yeah.
What's next for Steve Worthy on YouTube?
Oh man, I have written out about 10 video ideas, and now I'm in a process. So this is probably the imposter syndrome coming through right now. Here it is, right? That preparation, right? Where I have now I'm in a process of storyboarding them, right? And so what I'm trying to do to move past my imposter syndrome from a video standpoint is that, okay, you know what, Steve, why are you trying to storyboard all of these videos? Like, you're not going to shoot all of these videos like at once. You need to do one video at a time. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I have a whole bunch of really good ideas. And so right now I am in the process of actually probably later today starting to shoot one of the videos that I'm pretty excited about. I already have somebody that's going to help me kind of edit it and things like that. And I think that's the other part for me, is to take some of that piece off of my plate from an editing standpoint, is just shoot the stuff, like shoot it, get the cameras right, do the lighting right, just shoot it, get the content right. And then someone else will I got a really great guy that actually can bring it to life. So taking out the excuses, I'm trying to take out the excuses out of my YouTube journey, and I'm slowly taking them all away, and I can just see some light, at the end of the tunnel for some growth on my YouTube channel.
Dang. Wow. Let me tell you something. You are doing a great job on YouTube. We check you out every Friday. Are you doing every Friday evening?
Yeah.
At 7 p.m.?
Yeah, we do. So we have that whole live streaming thing. I'm loving that platform. I love doing that. Every Wednesday we do a guest segment, so we actually have a guest every Wednesday, actually from all the way through September. So we're kind of booked up through September, which is pretty cool. And we do that live stream with the guest on Wednesday. And then on Friday, I stumbled on Fridays. Here's the thing, man, because I was going to do Sunday nights. And I actually put it on my website and everything. I was going to do Sunday nights. And then 2 weeks ago, as you were part of that, I did an impromptu one, and I was like, dude, this just feels right. Like this night just feels right. And I don't, it's a Friday. Everybody's done work. I don't have to do a whole bunch of slides and presentations, to talk about something. I can just chat it up with people and kind of let my hair down, if you will. Let my beard down, if you will, and just really just share You know what I mean? And just share and not have to worry about like if all the presentations are right. And so I'm enjoying that. And then we're doing I think I'm going to push that to Friday too. This whole idea of a community takeover where, you know, people who are part of our Facebook group, and then I'm going to start moving people who are part of my LinkedIn group, just doing live streams with them. We did our first one last week with Walter Gander II, and we were on there for like an hour and a half or so. And he was just talking about whatever it is he's on his mind, what he's going through professionally. He's a creator, he's a podcaster, and we were just chatting things up, and we had a whole bunch of engagement with the community. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to bring people on, not you know, from the community takeover standpoint, and just like have them share, you know, what they're going through, and we can just talk through that, because that's what coaching is, right? That's what executive coaching is. It's, you know, I'm not super duper with problem solving, because that's not the point. It's consulting, right? And, you know, for me, we're on this journey together. And so I want to kind of show people a little bit about what the coaching experience will be like, but by us doing the community takeover.
There it is. Where can our viewers in the Huddle community get more information about Steve Worthy and your coaching program?
Yeah, man. You can go to worthyretailu.com /now. That is our page where you can access our newsletter, our weekly newsletter. We have resource page. You can also look at any case studies that we have from a client standpoint, and also book, you know, the discovery call as well, to just talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about for about 15, 30 minutes or so. And we can see if we're a fit with each other, because I don't just coach people in retail. You know, that's probably about 80% of my clients. The other 20% are from all different walks of life and professionals and business disciplines. So it doesn't really matter. I'm excited that I just feel like I got a lot to share and a lot of value to add to people as well. So worthyretailu.com /now.
All right. With Huddle community, we're going to definitely get this information out. Is in the description. And if we come across some individuals who are definitely looking for your type of services, we're going to push them in your direction with your approval. Well, again, Steve, we want to thank you for being on the Huddle. Again, we enjoy your content, and we hope your schedule will permit you to come back again, because you got just some topics on leadership we want to tackle.
Oh yeah,
in
man.
The fall months. And I don't know, maybe we just need to do an hour-long leadership breakdown. So
let's do it, man. I am game. I am game.
I will definitely coordinate you with your schedule. Question of the day for those in the Huddle community: what are you doing to overcome imposter syndrome and pressing record and uploading your first video? You know you want to upload that first video.
Yeah.
You know you want to record that first podcast. What are you doing? You got the tools and the tips here today to overcome imposter syndrome. Drop down in the comment section. Those of you on the replay, give us your feedback. Well, we're going to close this out, but again, we want to thank Steve for being on the Huddle.
Thank
as
you.
we close out, we always say many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that will prevail in your life. Make a quality decision today and allow God's purpose to provide in your life, so you can find your passion and purpose on YouTube. Me and Steve are going to chat a little more as we go off the air. We see you next Saturday, Huddle community.